Hi everybody and welcome to the OpenECRI midweek market commentary for the 26th of June. My name's Simon Clark from Trade with Precision and I'll be discussing the markets that are of key interest right now. Now the first market I'm going to talk about today is CAD Swiss. Now CAD Swiss, I spoke about CAD Swiss last week and I was looking last week for this 9,000 level to be broken. I was looking for trading opportunities underneath this level. In fact we did break that level and we got a 150 point drop pretty much sort of straight afterwards. Now price is having a little bit of a pullback in this market back up to that level, and I'm still seeing further opportunities on this market. So I'm just going to talk through the time frames and show you what I'm looking at. So first of all, if we take a look at the monthly chart, we can see this 9,000 level has been key support and resistance for right the way back in the time, or key support right the way back in time. Price came down in 2011, broke underneath this level, quickly retraced above this 9,000 level and then sort of consolidated sideways just above it. We've made a high, we've made a lower high, and now just broken through 9,000. Now in doing so, we've got nice convergence here on the indicators, so we've got lower highs here on the indicators, just confirming the direction of this market. If we come down to the weekly chart now and we can start to see this in a bit more detail, we can start to see how many times this 9,000 level has been tested, and we can start to see the price action. As price has now been making lower major highs and now we've broken underneath the 9,000 level. Nice convergence on the indicators, and the moving averages just rolling round into the right order at the moment. However, it becomes a lot more clearer when we take a look here on the daily chart. So here on the daily chart, we can see our 9,000 level. We can see this move down that we were looking at on the weekly chart, and here on the daily chart it never even really managed to, or price didn't really manage to get into any sort of nice ebbs and flows of the market. It pretty much just went in one direction. We did come down, hit 9,000 on the nose, retraced right back into the sell zone, a big bearish candle, and the price came back down and hit 9,000 again. And then we sort of consolidated, came back in, retested the sell zone. Each time we tested this sell zone, we eventually just kept pushing down to the downside. So price is respecting this sell zone very well on this market at the moment, and we also know that we've got this 9,000 support and resistance level which has also been respected by price. Now at the moment, or last week I should say, I was expecting price to break through this level, looking for opportunities underneath it. In fact, we had a trend flow type of candle here on the daily, and we had a 150 point drop to the downside. Now at that point it was quite overextended from the sell zone, so a retracement wasn't sort of not expected. In fact, price is now pulling right back towards that 9,000 level, which happens to cluster right in the sell zone there. We've still got lovely convergence here on the indicators too, so everything's looking very nice there for a continuation of this, or agreement of this move to the downside. Now if I take a look here at the 240 chart, so I've really come down the time frames here and just starting to lay a bit more analysis on this chart, we can see this break underneath the 9,000 level. We can now start to see the pullback to it. Now what I've done is I've drawn a fib study in from the recent swing high down to the low, and we can see that at 9,000 level, we know it clusters with the sell zone on the daily chart, and it also happens to cluster with a 61.8% fib level on this time frame as well. In fact, even if I draw this down to the previous swing high here, we're also very close to that 61.8% fib level. So we've got a number of things sort of stacking up around this 9,000 level for price to potentially turn around and for the downtrend to continue. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if 9,000 is going to be a resistance level for this market, to potentially see if this is a turning point, and if so, then I'll be looking for trading opportunities on these lower time frames down in the direction of the short side. Okay, so the next market I'm looking at here is coffee. Now this is the KC futures contract, and this market's just been in a beautiful short trend for such a long time, and just looks like we've broken past all previous levels of support and resistance, and it's still continuing to the downside. So just talk you through the time frames and show you what I'm looking at here. If we start off with the monthly chart, we can see here on the monthly chart, coffee for many years had pretty much been trading sideways within this sort of consolidation. Eventually we had a big push up to the high side in sort of 2009, 2010, and now sort of since 2011 we've been in a downtrend and prices sort of been pulling back. Now it's pulled back way past these previous levels that coffee's been trading at. It's just continued to sell off to the downside. Even here on the monthly, we've got all the moving averages in the right order. We've got lovely convergence here on the indicators too, and just looks like nice steady selling momentum. If we come down to the weekly chart, we can just see this in a lot more detail. We can see, as price has been just very steady, moving averages all fanning very nicely, and just nice steady selling momentum in this market is continuing to the downside. Here on the daily chart, we can see exactly the same, and just recently, from sort of May this year, we've now been getting some nice smooth flowing price action here on the daily chart. All of our moving averages are in the right order. In fact, as soon as price pulls into that zone, into the sell zone, we find new momentum and the price continues to the downside. Lovely convergence here on the indicators too. So it's even looking very nice on the daily chart, but also here on these lower time frames. So looking here at the 480, we can see as price sort of pulls into the sell zone, as it does here, we find that the momentum continues and price pulls down. At the moment, where price has just drifted back into the sell zone, and we got nice small candles in that area as well. So again, what I'm looking for here on coffee is there's no sign at this moment in time that this trend is about to change. It's been going for a long time now. We've got nice convergence on these on the indicators, and all I'm looking for is, as prices keeps coming into the sell zone, looking for selling opportunities, looking for trend flow trading opportunities to take advantage to the downside. Okay, the last market I'm going to take a look at here today is Euro Yen. Now Euro Yen, I think, is at a deciding level, or a decision level for the short-term move, not necessarily a long-term trend change, but certainly for a short-term move. And I'll show you exactly what I'm looking at. So here on the monthly chart, we can see that Euro Yen has been for some time, for a number of years, it had been in a decline. Most recently, back until 2012, this has completely turned around, and we've had a massive move right the way up to this sort of 3,000 level. And this is all starting to look nice, moving averages starting to roll round, and we've certainly got some nice convergence there on the indicators. When we come down to the weekly chart though, this has been a big move, and when we come down to the weekly chart, we can start to see this price action in a bit more detail. And going back from mid last year, we can just see that price is pretty much on this time frame just moved in one direction. It's come up, it's tested this key level here, this 127,400 level. It's tested it once, it's pulled back into the buy zone, pushed through it again, and this level has been then tested numerous times. So it's been resistance, it's been support, price has now pulled back, and now it's forming a sort of a decision point in price. From this high, as price made new highs, we didn't continue to make new highs on the indicators, indicating that there was less buying momentum in the market here than there was back at this point here, indicating that we're due for a bit of a pullback, and that's exactly what started to happen here in price. So taking a look here at the daily chart, we can see this in a bit more detail. So from this high, if we just look at these sort of previous highs, from this high here up to this high, we've got very good divergence here in the indicators. In fact, price has now sort of been pulling back. In doing so, it's now sort of come back, it's tested the this 127,400 level, found support there, it's now made lower highs and lower lows as it's broken underneath it, and at the moment we're now sitting right at that level at the moment, right in the sell zone as well, and we've now got the moving averages rolling round in the right order too. Also, we've got nice convergence there on the indicators. So at this moment in time, what I'm looking at is I'm coming down to these lower time frames, and here's the 480. Just looking here at the 480, we can see this price action in more detail. Moving averages just starting to get round into the right order, and what I'm looking for to see is if this 480, if this 127,400 level rather actually holds, because if it breaks this level and we get a potential trend flow opportunity either on this time frame or the 240, then I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a retest down at this 125,000 level at least, maybe a little bit further. If price can hold at this level, then we may get and it finds strong support here, that it may be an indication of the trend turning round and the longer term upward trend continuing. And what I'll be looking for that is for these highs here to actually be tested and rebroken. So I'm keeping a close eye on this on euro yen for possible shorting opportunities in the short term, but also potential sort of longer term opportunities back in the direction of the prevailing trend, but keeping a close eye on this 127,400 level. Okay, so that concludes the midweek market outlook and potential trading opportunities to look out for. I'd like to thank you for watching the Open ECry midweek market commentary and look forward to speaking to you next week. Bye for now.